guys, what's up? I just want to let you know I'm here. I'm actually a little early and ready to go. Usually I'm kind of rushing around, getting ready for the show, but today I actually, I basically was like raring to go today. After having a day and a half away, I'm so not used to that. Not to say that's not a good thing, it's a great thing. It was a great day and a half, which I'm going to tell you about on today's podcast, but I was like, oh, I'm ready to go. What time is it? It's 10:55. The show doesn't even start for over 10 minutes. I was like, oh, well, do I really want to sit here and listen to music? Not really. So if you guys want to chat, I'm here. We could just talk a little bit. I won't turn the screen on yet. But if you guys want to have a little bit of early chat, I'm down for that before we begin the podcast. Yeah, Usagi Jojo says you had plenty of time to relax and recharge. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, because even though I didn't have to go grocery shopping, I didn't have an appointment, I didn't have errands to run, there was still a lot of work involved. Like, my wife and I cooked twice yesterday, and dinner was actually quite more elaborate than a dinner that we would typically have. So, you know, we were both in the kitchen prepping, preparing cooking, cleaning. There was a ton of dishes to clean after the meal. That's the one thing about these holiday meals. They're absolutely amazing. They always taste great and they're memorable. But then you've got such cleanup after the fact. And when it's just me and my wife, it's like, sometimes we scratch our heads like, why did we just do that? Like, we like the food, right? But then it's like, oh, now we have to clean up for like an hour because we created an entire sink full of dishes. We have to wipe down the entire kitchen that's now covered in, you know, food ingredients. It's like, so we'll talk about that. I mean, the food was great. We actually really liked our dinner. So it was, you know, it was nice. But at the same time, it's like, it would have actually been good if we just had a day where we could just sit around. Like, we didn't even just get to sit around. We had other stuff we had to do. We had, like, a bunch of clothes we've been washing. We hadn't folded. We had to fold, like, 2 to 3 containers of clothes. So we actually had clothes for the week, you know. But we did fun stuff, too. We had a couple drinks and tried some chocolates and did a few other things. So it was a good day overall. You know, I did enjoy my Christmas. Oh, indeed, JDTV says, hope you had a good Christmas. We did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining in any way, shape, or form. It's just, even the one day a year that I had off that I literally did not think of work, did not really, like, open any work-related thing. I think twice during the day, I opened YouTube Studio and I approved comments just to have them approved. I didn't even really read them. I just went like, da-da-da-da-da. And that was about it. I didn't really do much of else. I wanted to stay kind of unplugged for a day, which was a good thing. It's always a good thing to be unplugged, especially when, you know, your job has you plugged into the internet pretty much nonstop. It's good to just be able to disconnect from that for a bit. And not have to worry about, oh no, is this working? Oh no, did I set this up? Oh no, what's going on with this? Oh no, I need to track a bunch of news for tomorrow. And then I did anyway. Like I said, like I did open up Twitter like one. Well, I say Twitter, it's X now, isn't it? I opened it up like once and saw a big story. I was like, oh, that's a big story for tomorrow's show. Let me get that. So I did. You know, we're going to talk about that on today's show. But that's the thing with the nature of the work that I do. Like, you're constantly having it in your mind of what's next. What's the next thing? You know, I was even thinking in my head over all the things we had talked about over the last couple of days in regards to, like, what we're doing in 2024, early 2024. Because now we know about the schedule, that there really are no significant big new releases at all early on in the year. It's not until the very end of January before there's anything of note. And so we're like, well, we got a whole month. What do we do? And I know people want Baldur's Gate 3, so that's just a given. But it's like, we're about to finish RoboCop. We're at the end. Maybe 1 to 2 more streams. That's done. You know, Like a Dragon Gaiden. Probably 2-3 night streams. That's done. So within the next week or two, we're done with these games. And then we're going to have my year-end series. But then what's next? We're going to have several weeks, right? So what do you do? And, you know, I actually was thinking about that in my head. And I think I've come to a determination. I don't know if it's going to be something everyone's going to like. But I got an idea. What I need is some feedback from you guys, too. Because you guys know better than me when it comes to, for example, length of games and stuff. like you would know better than me. You've probably played certain games more than I have, and would have access to that kind of data of, you know, how long would you think it would take me to beat a certain game. I have a couple ideas in mind for what I think I would like to do. So I think we're going to talk about that today and try to figure it out. I think that'll be a good idea today. You know, and then focusing on the year-end series and everything coming up, that first week of January. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, you know, we have this week, which is a full week of streaming normal, coming up. And then that first full week of January, I'll probably do my year-end series. So, Usagi Jojo says, maybe it'd be nice to rent a cabin off the grid for a few days. Yeah, but again, it sounds like a good idea. But number one, if I rent a cabin off the grid for a few days, I'm not working. I'm not making money, which I need to do to pay bills around here and keep stuff going. I don't really have the option of, say, taking several days off. When I did that at the end of October because I was so sick, I've set myself back to the point where I'm still really not even caught up on that. You know, that was a week that I was expecting a certain level of income. I don't have it, and, you know, kind of playing catch up and everything. So it's like, the day I don't work is the day I don't have income to pay the bills, and then how do I deal with that, right? So it would have to be a situation where if let's say we're going to take 3-4 days off together, my wife and I. Well, I'd have to actually have a way to account for that money-wise, right? I'd have to figure that out. And then in addition to that, what do we do with Jasper? You know, we can't just have Jasper here in a house by himself for 3-4 days. So now we got to look into, what do you do? Is there a boarding service? Is there someone who can take care of pets? Do you trust someone to be like a house sitter and come by, like, you know, once a day, maybe for an hour, and spend time with him and feed it? You know, what do you do? Who knows? And that's the thing. That's life right now. Is basically, it's like these kind of things just aren't an option. You know, it's life. If anything, I think just having a few like stay-at-home days. Like, if it wasn't, like, Christmas is my one day a year, right? I always say this. Christmas is literally my one day a year, correct? If I could have, like, 3-4 days in a row, but we have a staycation, where maybe, you know, one day we stay home and we just do stuff at home. We watch TV, we hang out, right? We have, you know, nice time together. Maybe do stuff around the house we wanted to do and haven't had a chance to do. But then the next day we actually, like, go out. We, like, go out, go shopping, do stuff together out, have a nice dinner out or something like that. Like, if you had a series of days, then maybe it wouldn't feel like, oh, our day off is always ultra rushed, and our day off is always, like, you know, hectic, stressful. But I don't have that option right now. I would love to have that option. I would love it that, you know, hopefully, in the long term, things get better, you know, whether it's financially behind the scenes, whether it's making a little bit more money, whatever it is, so that it balances out, and then we could do that. You could have 2-3 days off a week every once in a while. Not that that would be every week, but I think that would be the ideal. Again, I've already talked about this, that was kind of our idea for this year, is that by the end of the year, we wanted to, like, refinance all of our finances. Refinance our mortgage, put everything into the mortgage, get all my back debts that I still owe paid. And we could have done that if the United States didn't basically tank, if our government wasn't so bad and screwed everything up and caused mass inflation, caused all the interest rates to go up. It screwed everything up. Like, we were on pace. I've been doing very well. In the last 3-4 years, I've been doing very well of you know, being more responsible and keeping everything under control. And, you know, I'm like, just stay the course, right? Just stay the course. I keep telling myself, just stay the course. But then it's like every time there's something else comes and screws us, and it's always out of our control, you know? What can you do? I mean, geez, we didn't even get a dishwasher this year. That was like one of our big goals for the year. Hey, let's have enough to have the dishwasher. Couldn't even do that. It was just thing after thing after thing that's where the money goes, right out the window. That's adult life, though, you know? I'm not bitching. I'm just saying that's what happens. So that's why we don't think about this stuff. Would it be great to have a longer holiday than, say, just a Christmas day? Yeah. But I don't even know how that would be viable right now, you know, with the way that things are going. Maybe long term, though, right? That's really what we're aiming for, is that long term things can get a little better. Not that every week there'd be 2-3 days off, but maybe once or twice a month I could take more days off to spend with my family and do more stuff, right? Anyway, we're going to start in a few minutes here. This is just me talking because I was here super early today. I was already ready to go. JDTV, yes, my year-end series is my Game of the Year awards. My most disappointing Game of the Year countdown. Okay. And, what's the other thing? Oh, the new series, which we're going to do, which is very exciting. It's the fan-voted, or viewer's choice, best playthroughs of 2023. So I'm doing 3 year-end series this year, which I'm excited for. Very cool. Jeremy, we can see you. You said test and we can see you. This is it. Yes, you're here. Indeed, you were here. How am I today? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to chill and talk about Christmas. I want to talk about the upcoming schedule ideas I have. I want to talk about this Rockstar Games info leak, which is incidentally exactly what I've been telling you guys for the last decade. Like, I don't think it could be any more dead on exactly true to what I've been saying for the last 10 years. It's just funny because all the stuff that I always say or surmise or guess at, everyone says, well, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then slowly but surely, over time, everything that I've been guessing at in the industry ends up being true. Slowly but surely, right? So, here we go. Actually, if you guys can give me 1 second, I'm just going to do one thing really quick, and then we can actually get started with the show. I know it's pretty sad that I was dead on correct. One of these times I would prefer to not be correct because a lot of these predictions are very negative, but then I'm correct. And oh, man. If only, you know. The thing is, I've been doing it for so long as an outside observer that I've become very good at kind of understanding these trends and actions and things that are happening in the gaming industry. Okay, give me 1 second here. Hold on. And then we're going to begin. Give me a sec here. On Christmas Eve. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Listen to this one. This year, you ready for this? We didn't order Chinese food. We ordered Thai food instead. So we had Thai food, and, excuse me. And then after that, we just kind of hung out for a while. We played with Jasper Kitty. And so, I opened my presents. And the first present that I opened, Jasper is going crazy on the mic. If you're wondering why the mic is moving, if you hear anything, he's rubbing his face all over the mic. Jasper, you're being very ridiculous today. Look at this. There he goes. Okay, so first of all, I opened my first present, all right? And it is this very nice sweater, as you can see. Now, this sweater can be zipped up as well, but I actually zipped it up, and I'll show you. It looks pretty nice, right? I actually really like it zipped up. The problem is, the sun is out today. So as I was setting up for today's stream, I had it zipped up just like this. And I'm like, oh, it looks good zipped up. Wow, what a nice sweater. I really like this one. Look, it's nice elaborate. Look at the design on it, right? It's the most elaborate sweater that I own. A lot of people are saying it looks like a cardigan. I have no clue. Maybe it is. I don't know the criteria for what's a cardigan or what's just like a normal sweater or whatever. I have no idea, all right? But the other thing I like is that it's a color I don't have. Like, I don't have any clothes of this color. So it's perfect. It, like, accentuates and expands my wardrobe options, right? It is warm and cozy. But the problem is the sun is out today. So I'm sitting in the office with it zipped up. I'm like, oh, like, I'm getting hot. I started sweating. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, my chest was sweating. I was like, oh, what the frick? It's friggin' winter. And I'm sweating, wearing a sweater in the house. Why? The heat doesn't reach this office, just to make it clear. It's not like my heat is blasting in my house and it's hot in here. The heat does not reach this office at all. The problem is the sun's out, and when the sun is out, it beats on this office wall and heats the office up. So I unzipped it, and that's what I'll have to do. It's 100% a cardigan. You guys think so? Okay. If it's a cardigan, it's a cardigan. I'm rolling with that. I'm going to say it's my Christmas cardigan. A gift for my wife. I really like it. And as we were eating our breakfast, We had Christmas music playing, which was nice. And then basically after that, you know, we washed up, we showered or whatever. And we fed the animals out back because, like I told you guys, we have all kinds of woodland creatures that come into our backyard every morning. Because number one, we have some nuts that we'll like put out on the back step. And number two, we have this suet dispenser now. It's a little cage, and you put a block of suet bird food in there. And every day, animals, squirrels, birds of every kind come by and eat this stuff. And it's really nice because we had a ton of animals in the backyard, and that gave Jasper something to do. He was so excited to see all these wild creatures out there, you know, running around and having a good time. So he loves that. Like I said, I've always told you guys, this is a cat house, a cat style house, like with all the windows, with the amount of space to run around in, the things to climb and jump in, and then having a backyard where we can have all these wild creatures come by. He loves it. So he was having a great time yesterday with that. Geez. And then after that, what do? We watched someone play the Bloodborne DLC. Yes, we started watching someone play the old Hunter's Bloodborne DLC. And we basically watched up through them going through the intro part, the first few hours, and get to the Ludwig boss and beat Ludwig. And let me tell you, for all the people that gave me shit many years ago about when I got to Ludwig and he kicked my ass and I rage quit that DLC, I don't think I've seen, because we've watched a few people play that DLC now, we haven't seen a single person easily get through that beginning part and beat Ludwig. This is another person, it took them like 2 hours to beat Ludwig, you know? That is a hard-ass boss. You know what I mean? Very, very tough. So, I'm happy that I went back later on and I replayed Bloodborne and I understood it better. And then when I got to Ludwig, I kicked his ass. Remember that? Well, man, you guys gave me so much shit when I first played it many, many years ago. But it's funny because everyone had a hard time their first time. That's one of the harder DLCs ever for, like, any game, right? It really is just really difficult. So anyway, you know, we watched that. We fast-forwarded through. We didn't watch, like, 2 hours of this person fighting the boss. But we fast-forwarded through that, and that was, I think that was that. Like I said, I had a few shots of peanut butter whiskey at night before I went to sleep. And that was about it. That was our Christmas. Someone said in the chat, I think it was Usagi Jojo, he says, you know, what you guys should really do is you should plan out time that you can, like, go to a cabin or something out there and spend, like, a few days together, and that way you don't have to worry about cooking and cleaning or whatever, you know. And I was like, you know, that would be nice, but there's a couple factors why we can't do that. Factor number one, we have a cat named Jasper Kitty. And if we were to go away for a few days, we'd have to find a way for him to get taken care of. Now, does that mean that we put him in a boarding thing? I mean, that might actually traumatize him. He's never been with anyone but us before, you know. Plus, those are expensive for what I'm to understand. Do we pay for, like, a house sitter to come by and for an hour or two a day play with him, feed him? He is very, very afraid of other humans than us. When we have people who come and visit the house for various reasons, like this year, the Comcast guy came by, right? When he came by, Jasper runs for the hills. And he hides under the bed and wants nothing to do with anyone. He just, you know what I mean? Like, he's afraid. He doesn't want to interact with other humans. He doesn't trust them. So, I don't know how that would go down. That's number one. Number two, I just don't have the luxury of having multiple days away from work. You know, for example, this weekend was great, and I was happy to celebrate it because you guys were so supportive back during my Christmas marathon on Saturday. I got a bunch of extra tips, a bunch of extra memberships. Because of that extra, essentially, that I got that day, it allowed me to say, oh, well, now I have the next 1 to 2 days I'm not going to be streaming. It makes up for that. Essentially, the extra that I made on Saturday covers the fact that yesterday, or 2 days ago, you know, I only streamed half, and yesterday I didn't stream at all. It covers that. So now it's as if I did a normal week, basically, you know? Because that's the other weird thing, too. People are like, oh, you made so much. You made bank on the Christmas marathon. Yeah, and it basically spaces out because I didn't work for, like, 2 days after that, so it's just even. It breaks even as if it were a normal week, you know? It's not like I ran off like a bandit making tons of money. And I'm happy for that. I'm grateful that you guys allowed me to do that, but how on earth would I have, like, how would I make enough extra to basically account for, like, a whole week away from streams? And to give you the perfect example of this, I was sick at the end of October. I had COVID. You know, I say probably because I had every symptom of COVID, but we didn't take a COVID test. So I guess it would be a little irresponsible to say I had COVID when I'm not 100% sure I did, but I'm pretty sure I had COVID, okay? It was really bad. I lost about a week of work, and when I came back, I mean, yeah, things went well, but the problem was I lost a week of work. And there's no way to make up for that. So I've been hurting since the end of October. And things have been tight and stuff. You know, this is the season when things should be up, right? Like, oh my God, views are up and income is up. I'm penny pinching, basically. You know, there was weeks when I was like, I don't know if I get the new game this week or whatever. You know, that sucks. It's stupid, but that's just what happens when you don't work for a week and you're self-employed like me. That's just a week you had zero income. You know, it's in the old days. It basically used to be that there was so much ad revenue to go around on YouTube. Like tons and tons of ad revenue. You have no concept. It was like 10 times stronger than today. That even if I was sick for a week, all the residual views and stuff I was getting on all my content would add up to so much ad revenue, it wouldn't even matter. It'd be like, you know, oh no, I lost a tiny little extra because I didn't upload this week, but so much other stuff brought in revenue, it didn't matter. Now it's very, very much the streams. These live streams, this is where I make the vast majority of all of my income. So if I didn't stream right now, I would go out of business. Like, no exaggeration, if I said I'm just going to become an offline YouTuber again like I used to be and just make on-demand videos, within a week, I'd be done. I wouldn't be able to pay anything. It's the streams that keep me alive. So if I'm not on stream, you know, how do I account for the fact that I want to take a whole week off to spend with my wife? Where's that money coming from, you know? So right now, we're not in that kind of a situation, because I know people say that kind of stuff. Oh, well, if Christmas isn't enough, why don't you take more time off? I can't right now. I would love to. In the future, it may be possible. You know, we're looking to, hopefully, in the next couple of years, get to a better situation financially. We can't right now. We're stuck, you know, because of everything that's happened in the United States with the government and interest rates and inflation. And I don't want to sit here and bitch about politics and stuff, but it really has negatively affected us, and that's stuff that's out of our control. We didn't make the economy tank. We didn't make interest rates triple in the last 2 years. That's the government and all kinds of shit going on that screwed everything up. Hopefully those things get better. And in the long run, things will get better. You know, we'll see. But for now, it is what it is. We enjoyed our 2 days or day and a half together. And now we're kind of back into the normal grind again. My wife's already at work and, you know, back to normality. It is what it is. But thank you all for allowing us to have that time by helping us and supporting us earlier this week. That's really appreciated because, again, it's very much because of you that we're able to do that kind of stuff. So thank you so very much for that. Okay? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to take a quick moment to remind all of you, as I cancel out this ad, because I want to talk to you for a second, so I'm canceling an ad that was about to play on the stream, that I rely on crowdfunding to make my living. That is how I actually support my business, is through crowdfunding. It's not paid product placements. It's not paid promotions on a stream. It's not click this referral code and buy a shitty product and make me a few extra bucks. It's not let me sit here and shill and advertise to you constantly. It's your support during streams primarily is what keeps me afloat. So if you like this content, if you've enjoyed this podcast, if you enjoyed all my holiday stuff, if you're looking forward to everything that I just mentioned to you, and you think that this could particularly be something interesting in the future, okay, let me know by supporting the stream in one of these following ways. Memberships. Right now we're at 687 members. We were over 700. In fact, we were at 720 members the other day. And I went on Christmas break, and I come back, and we're at 687. I've had enough. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It would be nice to get back to 700 today, considering the fact we have a full-length Baldur's Gate 3 stream, and we have a nice Like a Dragon Chill stream later today. It would be great if we could get back to 700 members today. So please consider becoming a member, or maybe consider gifting some memberships. Listen, I know Christmas is over, but this evening of giving continues, all right? And people around here will be very appreciative of receiving a gifted membership. I'm very sure of that. So please consider maybe gifting some memberships to the channel. You know, super chats, super stickers, all great. Super thanks on a video. Thank you for those. Tips are great. Right now, we will actually have the tip goals. Well, let me put it this way. Yes and no, we will. If we hit $100 of tips today, I will absolutely put on a hat, but I'm not going to be wearing a vest over a cardigan. All right? I'm not going to dress up like I'm the freaking kid, the little brother from the Christmas Story who can't even move because he has so many things on as he goes outside because his mom is overprotective. But We will still have some tiered rewards if we hit those goals. So please consider tipping. It helps a lot. My day off is just around the corner. Yes, tips would absolutely help for that day. Again, grocery shopping, pet supplies, and other things I need to do. It's all the liquidity I have is from tips during these streams. So if you could tip today, that support would be greatly appreciated. Okay? There you have it. That's all I'm going to say. There you have it. I'm not going to talk about this all day long. And the one big piece of news that we have to discuss today is the Rockstar leaks. And these leaks are based off of the fact that a hacker hacked Rockstar about a year ago. It was that same kid that he's not a kid anymore. I think he's 18 now. But basically, this is the person who hacked Rockstar and leaked all of those assets for GTA 6 all over the internet. And now it just dumped like all the data. Like the data had basically been mostly hidden, but now it just leaked. Okay? So you ready for this? Grand Theft Auto 5 source code that was stolen by the GTA 6 hacker was leaked. So the entire source code for GTA 5 is apparently on the internet. Alright? Okay? Including a DLC called Agent Trevor that ended up becoming the Doomsday Heist in GTA Online. A prologue DLC that was going to be a full North Yankton expansion explaining the backstory of Michael and Trevor and their criminal group as they were basically planning that big bank heist that opens up GTA 5. Liberty 5. They were actually going to have a Liberty City expansion for GTA 5 where characters go to Liberty City and have missions and stuff going on in Liberty City. All of this was already in development. 100%. They were making it. Okay? In addition to all of that, because that's not even the worst of it, in my opinion. Alright? It was also revealed they were working on the possibility of other games. They were probably going to make another Midnight Club racing game, perhaps. Alright? They were actually in the early development cycle for making some kind of Grand Theft Auto based in Tokyo, Japan. Okay? And then it was actually revealed they had 8, yes, that's correct, 8 different story DLCs planned for GTA 5. 8 DLC. So you thought, oh, The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony were great DLCs for GTA 4. They were going to make 8 of those. Okay? So you might say, I don't get it. What happened? Right? Why didn't they make any of that content? GTA Online. Because there's all this evidence that basically when GTA Online essentially started printing them money, they never saw that happening. They thought GTA Online would have some kind of success, but that it would be kind of a side project for a side group of developers to work on, and then all their core developers would continue to make the great single-player content that had always been the staple of Rockstar games. But when GTA Online started becoming so popular and had all these people playing it and dumping money into the microtransactions, they rerouted some efforts. And then when it got bigger, they rerouted more efforts, and they rerouted more efforts. In fact, it's rumored that the only reason that Red Dead Redemption 2 actually did come out is because it already had been further in development than any of their other projects. So essentially, for them to pull the plug on Red Dead Redemption 2 and say, just work on GTA Online, would have cost them more money than it was worth. They already had too much time and money invested in it at that point, you see? But basically, if they had had their way, they would have literally just canceled every single possible thing that they were working on at that studio and only made GTA Online content because it was making them so much money. This is a classic case of where art essentially suffers because of commercialism, profits, right? Because when you really look at video games, yes, absolutely, they're supposed to be products to be sold for profit. We all know. I mean, that's how they get financed. No one's making a video game and says, oh, by the way, here, just have it for free because I like making games. Okay, maybe that does exist. Maybe there's some indie games that do that, right? But any of these big budget games, we all know that that's how it works. They have to make money while they're also providing some kind of an artistic experience to humanity, right? Ideally, you want a balance of both. You want something that's an amazing gameplay experience, an artistic experience that's meaningful to society and culture, but also makes money for the company, all right? What ended up happening was GTA Online became so profitable, they literally forgot the fact that they were actually game creators. They didn't care. They were rolling in so much money that they didn't feel like it would matter. They basically, it kind of is the same deal what happened with Epic Games and Fortnite, right? What has Epic Games actually done since they started making money with Fortnite? I mean, they bought a couple studios. Like, they bought the Fall Guys studio. And what happened? Fall Guy fell into disrepair and now is almost dead, right? They made a store to distribute games on PC, the Epic Games Store. What else have they done? Did they make another game that was good? No, because Fortnite essentially makes all the money. So why would they bother doing anything else? And this is the sad fact that these great game companies, right, just seem to get almost corrupted by money. Rockstar didn't used to be about that. And then when GTA Online came out, there was a complete flip in management and direction, and that's all they care about. And I hate to say it, but I have to say it. And I know a lot of you are going to be upset with me, but I don't care because you know me, I'm an honest guy. Every single person out there who's played GTA Online in the last decade, and you invested insane amounts of time and money into it, you have to understand you have to take part of the responsibility for the fact that Rockstar didn't make content for 10 years. You know that, right? Like, if you wanted GTA 5 expansions, and you wanted Bully 2, and you wanted Midnight Club, and you wanted all this other content, the fact that you were sitting there on GTA Online, spending all of your time in it, dumping money into it constantly, that's why those games and expansions do not exist. That's why we're a decade later and we still don't have GTA 6. Because I hate to say it, people don't want to live with the consequences of their own actions. They want to feel like they can do whatever they want, and they have absolutely no responsibility whatsoever. And that's wrong. That's not correct. That's a factually wrong statement. It doesn't matter how much you want to pretend, but the truth is there's cause and effect in life. If you behave in a certain way and you reward certain behaviors, those behaviors will continue. Okay? Why do you think it is that Nintendo, as a game development company, ignores its fans all the time? Because no matter what Nintendo puts out, the rabid fan base goes and buys it up and slurps it up and douses them with money. For how long do people say, we want Switch Plus, Switch Pro, we want a better Switch because the Switch sucks. The quality is bad. We need a better graphics engine. We need, or a better graphics card in there. We need more powerful processor, more RAM. We want a better screen, better controls. We need to have a Nintendo console that's on par with everyone else. What does Nintendo put out? The Switch OLED. Literally the same exact console with a couple minor tweaks, but you bought it if you're a Nintendo fanboy, right? So will Nintendo ever listen to your feedback? No, because they know that you're basically gullible. You'll buy whatever. Because of the purchases decisions of Nintendo fans, Nintendo will not listen to fan feedback. They know that people will still spend no matter what, so they don't have to listen. It's the same thing with Rockstar. Directly through people's actions for a decade, what Rockstar found out is that it doesn't matter what they make. They just have to make stuff that prints money, and people will keep coming back. It didn't matter that they didn't make GTA 5 expansions. It didn't matter that they dropped all their other franchises that they had in development. Bully 2 would have been amazing. And they were like, oh well, since people are going to pay us for this other stuff that's easy to develop, might as well just keep making the easy to develop shit and rolling in our money. And that's literally what they did for 10 years. And everyone's like, gee, I wonder when the next game's coming out. And then they would boot up GTA Online and buy another car. All right, now listen. If you're okay with that, then that's fine. But there's so many people who are like such hypocrites. They're the biggest bitchers on the planet. Oh my God, I can't believe GTA 6 still isn't out. Yet you're still playing GTA Online. You're part of the problem. You're literally one of the big reasons why. You have contributed to the degradation of gaming culture. Do you understand that? Just like the people who just sit around playing Fortnite all day. There's nothing wrong with playing Fortnite at all. Enjoy the game for what it is. But if all you do is sit around and play Fortnite, broadcast Fortnite, spend money on Fortnite, and act like Fortnite is the end-all be-all of gaming, you are a detriment to gaming culture as a whole. Do you understand that? You are. Same thing for people who only play Call of Duty. All I do is play Warzone all day. So you're a detriment to gaming culture as a whole because you refuse to broaden your horizons. You only act like that's the only pertinent thing. How many content creators who only play Call of Duty then scream, oh, there were no new games this year that were any good? They're morons. From their very narrow worldview perspective, they refuse to look around them at all the insanely good games that came out in 2023, and instead they just complain that there were no good FPSs. Then fucking play something else and stop being an asshole who only tries to make money on FPS games because that's all you're good at. Actually, use your brain a little bit. But that's the problem with so many people, is that they just hyper-focus on the one thing that's easy, the one thing that somehow is a payday for them or whatever. And that's the absolute positive wrong way to go about all this. It just is. As gamers that are now getting older, we have to be more responsible with what we promote, with what we buy, with what we say is good. Because we have to be careful that we're pushing this upon a generation that's very gullible, that believes everything we say, and that will just consume on a command. Right? Do you really think Fortnite would have been as popular as it was if there weren't so many capitalistic streamers jumping on it, dyeing their hair to look like cartoon characters, acting like fools, and trying to make money off of children? No, it never would have been that big or popular. It's because people are predators. All right? Same thing with GTA Online. This is a thing. It was an online community of people. At first, it made sense. Then all of a sudden, you get people who are constantly streaming, the role-playing, this, that. Everyone's got to buy this car. Everyone's got to do this heist. Everyone's got to... It becomes an online culture, a predatory culture. And next thing you know, all people care about is what people are telling you is good, rather than actually looking past that. Say, wait a minute. It's been 5 years. Why is there no content coming out from Rockstar yet? What is going on? Duh. And then you spend another $100 on the next crib, right? It's like, so what did you think was going to happen? That's exactly what happens. We all have to take responsibility for our actions. Me as a content creator, I try to cover a variety of stuff for you guys because I feel like that's the responsible thing to do, and to tell you honestly what I think about it, right? When I played GTA Online at first, I did not like it. I played it again. I did the first heist, and I actually thought the first heist was decent, but I wasn't in love with it, and I was like, I could see the potential, but I could also see how this is a huge time waster. It reminded me of like those virtual online communities like Second Life. Or old, remember PS Home? That's what it reminded me of. So how the fuck did it become so popular? Because of content creators. That's why. If there was no generation of content creators to tell you that this very, very drivel level shit was good, no one would be playing it. People would have played GTA Online for a year and dropped it and moved on to the next thing. But because you get this entire online community of content creation and pushing it for profits and getting paid to shill, that's why we are where we are. That's why we haven't had a good Rockstar game in 10 years, besides Red Dead 2, which was good, but that was already in development. Everything else was dropped because of this. And that's fucking pathetic. What's going to happen is gaming culture, sadly, is going to become a situation where the only games that anyone plays are the ones that make the most money, regardless if they're actually good, regardless if there's a good story, or anything like that. How many games out there have terrible stories, but people are playing the fuck out of them anyway? Why? Oh, it's addictive. Yeah, but is it addictive because you actually like the gameplay, or because everyone's playing it online and you want to be a part of that community too? And I get that. But you have to understand that that's a slippery slope that you don't want to go down, because if everyone just plays games because they're popular, that's when everything becomes shit. We have been saying very recently about YouTube, we just talked about this on my React show recently, did we not? That why does everything on YouTube seem fake and the same? Because YouTubers have found a way to create produced content that's completely fake, but follows the same formula. And everyone watches, digests it, and these people become millionaires making that garbage content. but people are too fucking dumb to realize what they're watching is fake. They think it's good, real content, and they continue to watch and support it because they're stupid. And we have a growing population of people on Earth that are dumb and just believe everything they're told. They don't realize they're watching a paid advertisement when they're watching a product placement in a video, or someone being paid to play a game, or paid to advertise a game in a possible way. You know what I mean? Like, this is bad. People need to wake the fuck up. GTA Online is currently the textbook case. Now that we have this data, this concrete data, that Rockstar was going to make all these great artistic works in games, and they were all canceled because people wanted to play drivel for 10 years. That's bad. We need to actually use this as the case example to say we have to stop this behavior. It's not just about what's popular for money anymore. It's actually about improving fucking people's brains and humankind. And remember when games used to be challenging and fun and different? You'd get a meaning out of you played a game. Now you play a game, it's like you're just fucking around, man. Right? Oh, I turned on GTA Online today. I fucked around. I dropped some money, by the way, but I fucked around in it. What the fuck? Then you'll never get anything good. And it's the same thing with Warzone, all these repetitive, nonsensical games that are just gaming for the sake of gaming to feel like you're part of this big thing on the internet now. Enough of this shit. It's time to grow the fuck up and grow some brains for ourselves and actually start acting like responsible humans rather than just going with the flow and being like a cow chewing your cud or a sheep following a fucking mentality that everyone tells you to have because they make money when you do. Why do you think they tell you that? I have skipped Grand Theft Auto Online for the most part. I played it at launch, and I played the first heist, and that was it. That's literally the extent that I played GTA Online. Did I miss out on anything? Can you name one thing that happened in GTA Online in the last 10 years that was so culturally important for gamers as a whole that the fact that I didn't play GTA Online that I really missed out? Name one fucking thing. I rest my fucking case. You made these people rich. You ruined gaming culture. 0 games came out of Rockstar besides the one that was in development. And we all suffered because people were dumb. And it will continue. Nintendo will do the same. Call of Duty and Activision will do the same. Madden will come out with a game every year that's trash. These patterns will continue until as consumers we wise up and we stop rewarding mediocrity for the sake of being part of a virally popular thing because you're told to do it because people capitalize on your bad decisions. Wake up. I clicked the wrong thing. Son of a bitch. Okay. All right. I said my piece on this.